Hello everyone, just a gentle check if I am audible to everyone. Just a quick check. If you are able to hear me, just say something in the chat so that I can get to know that I'm audible and visible to everyone. A quick check. Hello, hello, hello everyone. Great. So I will wait for a couple of seconds so that I can get a confirmation. Everything is fine, visible and audible well, and then we'll get started. Perfect. So today we will be covering, guys. Today we won't be covering any specific technical topic. So we have a lot of Q&As today. So it is related to resume. It is related to some hiring process. Some are technical discussions around memory and what are the best open source, you can say, resources. There are questions related to ATS on the resume, as I mentioned. There are a lot of such questions basically people have asked, so we will be covering all of them. So let's talk about them one by one in this today's session. So I will wait for a couple of more second, maybe a minute before we get started. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, feel free to basically ask on the chat, or you can also use the Slido link basically which I have shared in the group. Any of those basically works. So you can ask your questions over there, and you can ask your question on the YouTube chat as well. So we'll take questions from both the places. Cool. So yeah, good evening everyone, and thanks for taking your time. Basically, on especially on weekend, I know it's tough. You have a lot of your priorities apart from your work, but I personally love those people who have hunger to basically learn and grow. So taking some time on weekend in order to get your queries answered, to get some more learning is tough. You need a lot of commitment for that, and I love people who are committed. So yeah, having a balance of both the word is very very important. So kudos if you are here. Great. How things are going at your end? Anyone who has facing or struggling basically with a job change, or struggling in your current job basically because of the work pressure or maybe more expectations, anything, I would love to hear basically on the chat, and we'll see what best advice I can give to you guys based on that. So if you have any of those things that you wanted to share, discuss, feel free to basically put in the chat and we can talk. Great. So let me do one thing, and let me share my screen, and from there we can get it started. Okay. Okay. Let me know if my screen share is also visible to you guys, so that I'm pretty much sure that you guys can see the Q&A, the Slido link basically where you have a Q&A. So if you wanted to ask more question, you can scan this QR code as well, basically, where you can add your question. You can put your questions on the YouTube chat as well. Both work. So we'll get started by taking these questions one at a time, and I will try my best basically to answer all the questions basically which are asked either on the Slido or on the chat group. So let's get started one by one on the things basically people are asking. Okay, so can you please suggest me the best open source project to take the inspiration for maintaining the good quality and also to learn the web performance optimization? Okay, guys, very important to understand over here. You yourself basically, a person have basically mentioned, give me help, some open source are those projects basically where you can go on the GitHub basically and you will be able to see the source code of that particular project, right? So most of the projects starting from React is your open source, your Next.js is again open source. There are n number of such projects which are mostly on the front end domain which are open source. You can easily see those things basically. Now let me, if people are asking, I can give you a couple of resources also. Let me try to pull down. So one, I generally recommend go and try to see the source code of, okay, I can try sharing things over here, that can help probably. So try looking into the source code of Next.js itself. So when you go into the source code of the Next.js, you will learn a lot of things, basically how things are done under the hood. But again, Next.js project could be complicated for people who are starting new and they may not be able to understand a lot of those stuff. I also recommend one of the project basically which you can go and have a look, which is React admin kind of a thing, where you get a panel basically to do some management, and they have written a good amount of code basically with good practices and different patterns. It also basically talks about how you do the data fetching and how the interaction should happen. So it has a lot of cool stuff inside that. Again, you can feel free to follow. Remember, there is no silver bullet basically doing one way to basically solve or write the code. So you have to learn different practices, and based on your team, your circumstances, the environment ecosystem that you are sitting on, you have to make the best choices basically. And this is again, remix is also, you can try learning and seeing the course, you can say the content of this, the code basically of this. So you will learn. I will recommend, don't go into too many things. Just try, if you are a very beginner, start from React admin, you will learn a lot of those stuff. If you wanted to go a bit advanced, go into the remix side of thing. If you further wanted to go in more interesting thing, you go to the Vercel. So these are certain things basically I will suggest. Keep getting deeper into those code bases, try to learn what they are doing and why they are doing, and then you will see a lot of interesting. Okay, let me take the next question from the chat basically, which is, hi bro, I'm working 3 years in the medical billing payment process. So it's, the question is from Naresh, and I wish to switch domain to the front end developer at a PayPal, but in PayPal front end developer job requirement is minimum 2 year of experience. Okay, so guys, very important over here to understand, when we apply and say that, hey, you already have 3 year of experience, right? It's a matter of now working in a corporate, you did not get a chance to do a lot of hands on basically on the front end side of project. Now, whenever, couple of things, whenever you are preparing your resume, at that time, ensure where you are applying, tweak and customize the resume based on what is expected in that particular company. That is one. In that particular job profile, that is one. Second, don't wait for your official, you can say, don't wait that you will get that opportunity in your current company or a project where you will get a hands on for 2 years and whatnot. Personally, to me, seems like there are people who are working on a particular domain for 5 years, but they did not get opportunity to work on diversity, so their knowledge is limited. So what I meant by, you should be ready to learn and explore more things. Don't underestimate yourself if you don't did not got opportunity for a very long time in that particular domain. What I meant, even if you get an opportunity to work, say suppose for 6 months, try to give your best, try to learn, go out of your shoes basically, and see what are the opportunities that you can get and you can invest. Don't only limit to the, I generally say that don't only limit to the Jira stories which are assigned to you. Go and see what other people are doing. Try to get into the design discussions, try to help other, try to learn from other peers. That way your learning will be multifolding. Else you will always wait for, hey, I'm still not have that much knowledge and whatnot. And to be very fair, if you have the right knowledge, year of experience in today's day is okayish. The year of experience basically is not just limited for a technical things. There are multiple other things which are important, and hence the year of experience are something which is taken important as in consideration, but not, it can't be blocker. So if you have experience in back end, front end, wherever you have enough experience, that should be enough. The second thing is the knowledge. Focus on knowledge, and rest you can always tweak things. By when I say tweak, you have to prove your worth, right? If you have learned those things in 5 years, or you have learned this thing in 1 year, how does that matter, right? So if you can justify your knowledge, that is something which people want. Okay, let me take a couple of more questions from the chat. Can I apply this my old domain experience? Naresh says, I hope I have answered. Please share the link where you can put the question. Not able to see in the description. Okay, you can scan the QR code also. So you can scan the QR code. You will be able to basically put the question. Okay, I almost never fail at the interview though. I only get mid-sized companies, but I'm not even getting the interview call now. Any suggestion? I have 2 years of MERN stack experience. Related to you're not getting job, you're not getting a job call, your resume is not getting selected. I have few things to basically cover up. People talking about ATS. So there are few questions basically over here. I will be covering in one shot. So just be with me, Vishnu, for some time, and your questions and queries will be covered. So Ajit, Chirag sir, do you think about the future of the front end given the recent development in the AI? Will it be relevant giving the relevant given the pace of the AI and impact on the front end? Okay. Now, one thing that everyone have to understand, it's not just impact on the front end, back end, it's an impact on everything in the technology that we have to basically acknowledge. You cannot basically say that no, nothing will change and I'm safe, I'm secure, and my job, I know React and my life is sorted forever. No, that's not going to happen. That's a reality that you have to accept. Now, the second thing which we have to accept is try to understand. Example, front end. So now earlier you were able to build a component, write the test cases, and basically connect to the APIs probably in a week or 2 weeks time, basically given the complexity, right? Now if you are asking for the same time duration and the bandwidth in order to do that, that's a question mark. Because can you automate certain things, or can you ask AI to do some repeated job so that you work on complicated problems statement? So what I meant by the problems that you were solving till now and the time it was taking, that is going to change, right? It's not like your technology will entirely shift in a short duration. No, that's not going to happen very soon. But who knows what happens after 5 years? Who knows about anything, man? Anything. It's not just front end, back end, as I said. Even what about the technology, right? So you need a software development entire end to end. You don't need probably any engineer after 5 years. Who knows the way the AI is shifting? But what I meant by, are you among the one who can leverage the AI to get your productivity to the maximum, right? To get the job done using the AI. Now, what is important and why being very strong on the fundamentals are important? Things can be built on the surface, but maintaining certain things, enhancing certain things, solving complex problem, right? For that, it need expertise. It need a human brain. It need for a lot of R&D's exploration that has to be done. It need human brain. And for that, if you have trained yourself, you are able to leverage AI to get the productivity and get the best of the human brain, then you are in a deadly combination, right? And then anyone beating you is tough, right? But if you are only limited to saying that, hey, I know some code bases, I can write, build a component, I can connect, I can write fancy css, I can just connect with a database and showcase that data on the UI, forget, man. So that is going to be tough. Similarly, on the backend, people who are building a basic API to fetch the data from the database and basically pass down to the UI, you're gone. Similarly, people who are working on the DevOps, who were just maintaining some of the, you can say, resources, and they were creating connecting resources and taking care of the bandwidth and all sort of. So it's going to be complicated, right? So you need less people to maintain your infra as well. You, in order to scale, in order to make that tweaks changes in your infra, AI is capable enough because a lot of things are config driven. YML is more than enough in order to do most of the infra related changes that we wanted to do. What I meant by, yes, everything can be automated, but your fundamental strength is something that will give you extra edge. So keep that edge with you. Okay, so I will keep on also taking some random questions basically also. uh, okay, I will, many people were interested around the referrals and whatnot. I will take that question also. So before that, let me take question from chat, which is Rina Gug has asked, not getting enough call, looking for the job change, although I try to reach out to the people out for the referral as well, but at the first place I don't see much openings, and then they expect me to share the job posting. Yes. Okay, I think it's quite similar basically. Can you share the okay, I will talk about my experiences and whatnot, but let me take the question basically that you asked about the challenges that everyone is facing in the today's market. So guys, couple of things, very important, please hear me out, everyone over here, please, very important. Till date you may be having certain connections basically with people, maybe people who were you are working in your company, and you are most of the time maybe professional. I've seen many, especially when you are in a career, people go above and beyond basically in order to build the connection, but when you are bit mid-year or senior, people are too much into their work where you don't build your personal connection, you just go for the work, complete your work, and move on. Guys, trust me, that those are not going to help you in your career, especially when you keep growing. You have to build good connections with people, and when I say build good connections, it's not always your own benefit. You have to see the mutual benefit of both the parties. It's, I'm going to tell you the harsh reality, and that is what you have to understand and accept, right? People may come and say that, hey Chirag, you may be talking a bullshit, what you're talking about, right? But guys, you have to understand, if you are not building good connections, where I say when building a connection, it's not about having like 1 lakh people in your LinkedIn and that is going to help, right? People should be, when you reach out to the people, if people have a good connection, you have talked with people in past, you have helped people in some way or the other way, then you are reaching out, the person will be happy to help you, right? You can, it cannot be one way always, right? Where you reach out to the person just for your own benefit, and you feel like every time you reach and you will get your request accepted. No, that's not going to happen. That's what you have to basically first learn. Second, when you build the good connections, try to also understand, in today's time everyone's time is very precious. What I meant by, if you reach out asking me, hey Chirag, I'm looking for a job in a Microsoft, can you basically get me a job in Microsoft? Dude, seriously, double think. If I ask you, can you get me a job basically in your company, is it that easy? And think about, if it is a big organization and it has some policies, some ways to basically get the screening, right, interviews and everything. So it is not on individual preferences. And again, the second important thing is, do you really think the other person have that much time? Because it may not be just your request, it may be multiple people reaching out for the same stuff, and everyone asking, hey, can you get me a job, can you get me a job, or can you basically refer me, can you refer me? Now you have to understand, if you can help the other person, which is you are helping yourself, you go with a precise request asking for, hey, this is what I hold in terms of experience, this is what basically my skill sets are core, this is the job ID, this is my previous domains basically I worked on, this is what the current job profile basically shows, in terms of the requirement, in terms of the previous experiences, it matches very precisely with what I have been doing, and I feel this is the best fit basically I am. Now, when you are giving a help to the other person, when I say giving the right information to the other person, along with that, try to always share some of the basic information as in text, which can be copy pasted. Example, or create a, I will, again, it depends. If you are okay to make some public access to the Excel sheet or whatnot, you can keep some things handy on your Excel sheet and share that Excel sheet for the quick copy paste. Example, anyone who's going to refer you in the organization, there are basic fundamental things which are needed in order to most of the companies in order to refer. What are those? Your email ID, your phone number, your city, your current location, right, your LinkedIn profile, your resume, some basic things basically which are needed in order to refer a person. Now, do you expect everyone who's sending saying that, hey Chirag, this is my resume, I don't know even which job ID you have to refer, because even I put effort in order to find the job ID, and then you may come and say that, hey, I am not interested in this particular team or this location where the job opening is, or basically this team or the technology. Then, dude, you have to think. You are wasting the time of other person because your interest area criteria did not match with the person, the job where the person referred you for. So you do that effort, provide the right information so that a person who's referring you do not have to go through the pain. It should be very quick. If you make the life easy for a other person, if your provided details can take maximum 1 to 2 minutes for the other person to refer, trust me, many people are going to help you out, right? The other good thing which I have seen, I do not encourage those things, I'm again, but I have seen some people doing a great and cool stuff in order to get certain things catchy, which is not giving rewards or basically paying something, but I've seen people doing crazy stuff, which is, hey, if you basically refer me, and I will host you a online coffee, or I will basically do something. What I meant by, it could be a small gesture, right? It could be a small quote, it could be small post, it could be small, it could be very small things basically that you can do for the person. What I meant by, are you basically just asking a favor, you have to understand, or you are giving a command to a person, like it's not your necessity, is someone else's responsibility to do that. In today's world, why I'm asking these things, because you have to understand everyone is very very busy, right? Very busy. You reach out to the n number of people, like, why the other person is going to invest time in your career, right? That is what you have to understand. If you understand that clearly, you will start getting ideas, solutions, options, where you automatically get priority whenever you are reaching out for the reference. So think from that way. That's how most of the people in like our ancestors used to do, right? Isn't it? So think from a creative mind. You have to be creative. It is not the same word which used to happen like 3 years back, because definitely the number of positions are not the same which you were having like 2 years back, which is a reality that you have to live with. You still working at Microsoft? Yes, I am still working at Microsoft as a principal engineering manager. That's correct. So okay, so someone has asked, hey Chirag, which DSA topic are generally asked for the front end role in top product companies? Okay, guys, very very important. I keep on hearing this problem again and again. I wanted to help everyone. I created this course because of same reason, guys, and that is what you have to understand, which is, you can, so please go and check this, check their DSA, which is 30 days. It is very much categorized and structured, guys. What are the techniques through which you should solve the problem? What are the most frequent questions basically which are asked? What are the patterns and technique? That is also basically I have covered. So I can show you some you can say tricks to the crack interview. There are a lot of things basically which I have kept. So what are the different patterns? What are the different questions basically that comes on those patterns? What are the ways that you have to basically think, how you basically should give the answers, your thought process? Many of those things basically I have tried keeping in one single course basically, and that too, guys, it's free of cost. Why don't you go and leverage it? In short, right? Go learn from the techniques basically I tried adding to that. What's today's session all about is all about right, it's the Q&A. People have a lot of great questions, so I will be covering those questions basically in today's session. So this is more about that. Okay, let me cover the question from here. Can you share your experience, tips, struggle, how you got opportunity at a Flipkart from tier 2 to basically in the current company where referral don't much help? Okay, uh, I wanted to help you guys to understand a couple of things. I'm not going to tell you, hey, I did something fascinating, I did this and that, and so there's a very real story that you have to understand, and I hope most of the people will be able to relate it with. So, guys, most of the people in India, right, especially because we are sitting in, I'm sitting in India, I'm talking about India. You are not from tier 1 college, right? Most of the people, if you are from tier 1 college, probably you will not be here, or we will may not be talking because you may be doing something crazy, probably, right? It again depends. What I meant by most of us are didn't do not get the opportunity, it's not that we did not got the opportunity at the right time. When we have to make those struggles for our career growth, we did not make. Let's accept that. Because of that, we ended up into getting the tier 3 college or tier 2 college basically, and because of that you did not get the right facility, right faculty, right infra, right, and everything is a byproduct of that. And because of that, you did not get right mentorship, right guidance, right things to learn, right people in your network basically, and ended up getting not most probably the right company, right project, right work, right compensation, right career, right growth, right everything is a byproduct of something, and it has a side effect basically that you have to understand. For me, it was quite similar. Like when I went into the college, it was not that fancy things that I expected, that hey, I'm going to be a software engineer, so I will get all the necessity, you can say, facilities, and I will get a great people around. But certain things happen good for me. One, I had a hunger. I was very clear basically I have to do something in my life. I have to do something which makes me happy. I have to learn certain things. I have to keep grooming myself, right? So that is what I was very clear. Now you have to find the people who can help you grow in your career. So luckily I was having a professor, Nishant sir, who helped me a lot basically in order to give me the right direction and give me the right problem statement to solve. From there, I keep on getting opportunities. I started building the team, like-minded people who can learn along with me. Because again, like you wanted to go to gym, you can be self-motivated for a couple of days, but after certain days, you say, "Oh, boss, no, it didn't work." Right? You lose the motivation. So in order to keep that motivation, you need like-minded people, so that even in your odd days, someone else is basically giving the energy and transferring that aura to you, so that you keep on pushing yourself, right? That is important. Again, guys, many of you know might have already heard my this story, and again, so sorry for boring you again basically, in case you already know about that. From there it all started, right? So you keep building the opportunities for yourself. That what happened from my first year to second year, building lot of applications, solving problems for other, seeing less benefit for myself, seeing what I can bring as in value, whatever I'm basically working on. From there it started keep happening, keep building things, keep hustling on things. Whatever ideas you have, keep working on those, right? So you will not get a return on the same day, guys. That's a reality that you have to understand. You get a return after some time, but for that you have to keep working, keep making efforts, and eventually things will fall in place. That's what I basically believe on. And that's what it happened from my startup journey, getting into the again tier 3 companies, keep making hassles, keep learning. Whenever you feel like there is nothing more to learn in that particular organization, I used to step out basically. That's how I have worked. I've taken a lot of hit basically in the compensation many of the time, because I was very clear I wanted to learn. Compensation is something that will follow eventually, and that's how it started. What have helped me basically, that is what I will say. From my journey from after moving to Flipkart to any, it has always been my good connections, guys. So I have always leveraged my good connections, and most of the time these opportunities have came from front. where I did not apply, and even I was not ready for those opportunities. I got those opportunity from front and asking that, hey, why don't you give a try? In Flipkart, even I was not ready. So one of the manager basically said, Chirag, why don't you give a try? It's okay. What will happen? You will fail. That's all. That's a maximum thing that will happen. The worst thing basically that could happen. Eventually things went well, right? Similarly with the Microsoft, I did not plan. Eventually it ended up basically in the similar fashion. It ended up into that. What I meant by, so I believe on one good thing, which is you keep making efforts, you keep growing yourself, grooming yourself, and things will start falling on your place. The important thing is you should have good people and right people in your connection. Make that great bond with people. Eventually you will see with your work, the passion that you have to do something, things will start falling on your plate very easily. But again, people who are struggling to getting the right job, referrals, and all sort of thing, I've already communicated, guys. Please make good connections. If you don't value those, having a good connections, then eventually you will learn. It's very important as you grow in your career. Making good connections are very important. You will always get benefit of those great connections. Great. So, okay, let me take something from the chat. Namaste Front End System Design indeed was one of the best course I have learned, and that too for free. Okay. Uh, Good that you can basically got it for free, no doubt. But again, I'm happy that you learn something, and you have grown up basically because of that. It's good. I'm happy for you, Jai. So I would like to, okay, let me see. I would like to work on the open source project. So how can you choose the open source project? I am front end developer. Okay, so one thing basically, Pandeji, that you have to understand, everyone wanted to get the best, but remember, getting to the best takes lot of things that you did, which you thought was not best, but eventually it helped you to get to your best. It's, I know what I said is a complicated statement. Try to hear it again basically from the recording. In short, what I meant by, in order to reach to the top stair, right, or to the rooftop, you have to take each and every step, and every step that you took in order to reach to the top were important. If I say, if I remove couple of steps basically from a ladder, would you be able to basically reach to the top? Probably not. You might be thinking that I am the top because you were not able to see the above steps in your career, right? So what I meant by, from open source, take any inspiration, start from anywhere. Most of the people wanted to, hey, can you tell me the best? I will say, start, go for any. So there are many tags basically which are available on GitHub. See, people are looking for, need a fix kind of a thing, right? Need a help, or people are seeking for people to pair up. From there you get started, start investing. Eventually you will start finding the right people, right mind setup, and everything will start falling on the place. So please start. So don't wait for the best, I'll say. I have 6 years of experience now. Oh, great, Rina. So good connection are very important, not only for the HR and the employees, but also your colleague, project manager, anyone who is the field. Yes, that's correct. ऐसा होता है. I don't know what for what you said, but yes, Ankit, everything होता है. So, but other people is already getting rewards using the company referral bonus. They are also in the benefit ready. So, Rina, that let's understand. Getting referral bonus basically in today's era is also very complicated because it's tough. Same people are referred by multiple people, and most of the time company already have the resume of the person, so you are not in a criteria of a referral, right? So what I meant by, most of the people who refer, they do not get the referral in today's era. That's a reality. That's our reality. So if you are thinking that someone is referring is getting the bonus for the referral, most of the time they don't get. That's our reality. There are a lot of terms and conditions that are there behind the scene, which you as a like person who's asking for the referral may not be know about that, but that's our reality that you should know. I was in a tier 1 college but in hotel management. Oh, listen, no, it's okay, but again, you know, this does not work. I wanted to be in this area. Why not, right? You can always try to learn things which makes more sense, which actually you have a passion for. Okay, just watching Chirag, JavaScript interviews gives more to learn than just watching to complete. Okay, good. Thanks for all the love, basically, guys, that you have. Okay, okay. I'm going to take questions from here. Let me take. What's the next question? रिसेंट में मैंने बहुत सारे इंटरव्यू दिए हैं, लाइक इन वो के अपोलो में, रिपलिंग में, SD2 रोल के लिए. समटाइम्स आई फील आई टुक मोर टाइम फ्रॉम HR. ड्यू टू दिस आई गॉट रिजेक्टेड. आई टुक मोर टाइम फ्रॉम HR. I did not get what do you mean by I took more time from HR. Maybe if you can clarify this question, I would be happy to take that. So Ankit, please help me to understand. Okay, ऐसा होता है क्या? I got rejection from the in the last round, replying to an Apollo, where I have to focus based on uh, your experience. Okay, maybe if I'm trying to understand your question, what you're trying to put, Ankit, uh, it's more around, are you saying your past experience is something that you did not talk well, or you did, it was not relevant based on the job expectation, and because of that you had rejections in your interview? Is that what you meant by? In case, oh, maybe try to rephrase this so that I can understand well. I will be happy to take that question. Okay, let me take this question. What do you mean by I built an app called to help the note taking while learning the system design? Okay, I will take this offline, basically, Vishnu. Uh, okay, let me take more question over here. Which, with AI causing confusion, should I focus on AI first or the skills first for learning? I'm experienced. Okay, very important, guys. Your fundamentals are always first priority. Without fundamental, if you are only trying to leverage AI first and you don't know what AI is doing behind the scene and what the outcome it is generating, it is going to be trouble for you. You can be fast at this moment, but anytime there is a tweak or complication that comes, you don't have fundamental understanding, you're gone, right? As everyone says, the engineer who is using the AI is going to basically replace you. That's our reality. Now think about a person has the fundamental understanding, is able to use the AI to be more productive, then all sorted. It's as simple as, if you have to think how people used to do some machinery work, like any work, construction, how construction used to happen in early days. Now a lot of those constructions basically are done basically in the factories. They get the parts, you assemble. Does it mean there is no need of a you can say civil engineer? There are. Now the civil engineer are doing the more great work, right? Instead of basically doing the manual efforts basically that they used to do. So what I meant by the way the engineering is done, that shift has happened. It doesn't mean civil engineers has reduced. There is more demand of civil engineer because the problem statement has changed. Earlier you were building normal bridge, you are building metros, you are building hyperloop, you are building bullet trains infrastructure that is needed, right? In civil engineering I'm talking about. Similarly, earlier you were having a 10-story building, now you have 200-story building that you are creating. What I meant by, as an engineer with the right tools, you will have the opportunity to do the right and great works. So what I meant by, leverage AI, but not at a cost of your fundamental. Like your fundamental should be very strong, and then only you will be able to get best out of the AI. Focus on that, else you will face challenges. Okay, I will take this question, memory thing. Don't worry around that. Can you please suggest me the best open source? I have already talked about my, let me say, my current resume technical shortlisted. Okay. Uh, One thing I wanted to talk about, someone also talked about ATS somewhere, I think. Some ATS score or something. I can quickly take that question also. Not is technical and don't see getting shortlisted. I strategize. Okay, couple of things, guys. I'm mixing the problem statement which I read somewhere. One, people who are worried around, hey, my resume is not getting shortlisted, thinking that they don't have the right ATS score and whatnot. And many people also talks about my ATS score in my tool and the other tool basically are different. Now there are few fundamental things that you guys have to understand. Hear me out, guys, and if possible, keep a note of this. It will help. You have to understand the fundamentals of things which are working. Example, like, especially I feel we as an Indian has a lot of that bolte nahi jugaad khurafati mind, right? So if you understand how certain things are built behind the scene, then you find the hacks and cracks of that particular thing. That's how most of the cracks are basically built, and that's how the hacker does. What I meant by, you have to understand how the ATS basically works. ATS works on parsing your resume. Now, if you are putting the images, you are putting some screenshot, you are putting some things which cannot be parsed, special characters and whatnot, it is going to be difficult for ATS to get best out of that. That is one. Second, ATS internally uses the data structure in order to map the right parameters and assess based on that. Example, it could be many kind of a parameter. It could be your experiences, it could be your technologies that you have worked, it could be the domains that you have worked, it could be your location, it could be many such things, right? It could be that you have visas or not. There can be multiple parameters. It could be your language barriers, right? What I meant by, these things are actually categorized and ranked based on the different criterias different companies has. Now your resumes are passed, it is basically indexed, it is mapped with the data structures basically, and try to get the right ranking based on the different parameter different companies has. Now what you need to basically do, couple of things. Right thing should be kept at top, that is one. Right parameters and keywords that you have to basically showcase in your resume is second. Third, there is no silver bullet for all the problems that you have. You have to customize things based on the problem statements that you have, or what I mean by the job openings that you have. What it meant by, different job openings have different requirement. What generally we do a mistake, we just take the same resume and start uploading to all the place blindly. Please create different versions of resume. What I meant by, you don't have to customize for each and every job post, but at least have different versions of resume, where in certain cases you are highlighting certain skill set, in certain cases you are highlighting certain different skill set, and have a combination of things. And in case people who are flexible to work at different job locations as well, right? So keep your job profile basically where you are talking about, or you have mentioned the locations for which the company is basically hiring for. If you are flexible, do not fool companies and waste the time of companies, because certain companies may also blacklist you, right? What I meant by, please don't like be over smart where just to get an interview call you are wasting someone else's time. I will not recommend that. But do things ethical. But what happens, sometimes people do this mistake where they may be working in, say, suppose Gurgaon, and they are open to go for a Bangalore. They mention things related to only Gurgaon. Now there is a question and a doubt. I don't know if a person is ready to move basically for a Bangalore. So in ATS, your ranking and score is something which is going to be impacted. Again, I'm sharing this behind the scene hidden gems. So again, I don't know why I'm sharing on the YouTube at this moment, but again, these are certain things which do matter. So take care of those things. Think from a recruiter perspective on what basis what are the things which will highlight as an red, you can say, marks on your resume, which can reduce the ATS score probably. Think about that. I hope you will start seeing the value and the benefit in the overall resume shortlisting as well. Okay, so sometimes I got rejection just because of my interview within 2 hours, even after performing well in the interview. Why? No feedback from the HR after my interview within 2 hours. Oh, it could be, right, because the interviewer might have shared the feedback early, and HR might have like taken the action based on the interview which went. There are certain things that you have to understand. Certain times we think I did my best, but most of the people don't know what was the expectation of our interviewer. Most of the time you think that I talked for 1 hour, I give my best, but was that the expectation of the interviewer? So there is always a strategy that you have to understand, guys, when you are giving an interview, which is what your interviewer is expecting. That is very very important thing. Start learning how to identify the expectation from your interviewer and focus on those things, not like what you planned and what you wanted to talk. It's like most of the people do this mistake. They do they attempt the interview like your college exams. पूछोगे कुछ भी, लिखेंगे वही जो पढ़ के आए हैं, right? This funda works in your college, but this funda doesn't work in your interview and corporate, right? So that is something that you have to understand. What I meant by, in short, guys, many people only focus on what they have prepared instead of what the other person wanted to listen. So try to be good at that. Very, very important. For not getting a feedback, always do the gentle nudge asking. For most of the good companies basically pass down the feedback, right? There are companies who don't have time, and they are not, sometimes they don't have time, sometimes they don't care much for candidate who are not qualified at this moment. So again, different companies have different ethics, and most of the big companies have great ethics. Can you share your experience? Okay, I talked about this. I think I forgot to mark that. Okay, someone talked about, is it possible to create a component library that can be used for the different framework? If so, could you provide the HLD and explain how the tech giant do this? Okay, one thing, many of the component libraries that you see, which works on React, which works on Angular, which works on this, they have their fundamental things built on JavaScript, and they have toppings of different, you can say, frameworks on top of it. Or the other way is people build things on a micro front end fashion, where you don't, why you wanted to basically build a solution which works for everything, which no one basically needs it. Sometimes people try to customize and make it optimized for the areas where it is going to be leveraged. So what I meant by, there's a combination of both of things depending on your use case and scenarios that you are basically solving. Again, I can talk about this in more depth, but if you have not seen the micro front end session which I had last month, please go watch. You will get a lot of those thought process and ideas how certain things are basically done in this area. Okay, so okay, let me, I think ATS score I have already talked about. I'm not going to touch upon. Okay, this is not a question. It is just a kudos for you. I really appreciate your vast knowledge in the system design, and thank you for creating this awesome course. Thank you, Reena, and thanks for all the love, guys, that you have been sharing and showcasing on through the different ways and channels. So I really appreciate, and this is give me the motivation, guys, to come basically and create content, right? Share my knowledge, my experiences, keep hustling, keep doing something out of my job. So trust me, it's not that easy, guys. People who at certain level, basically, you will understand it's not easy to step out from your all different, you can say, priorities that you have in your life and career, for these things. And people, so such things do give me a push and motivation to keep hustling more even. Thank you for that. Let me take more question from here. uh, Platform. Okay, so I will recommend, guys, don't go for the, until you don't have example, until you don't have any job at this moment and you are really struggling. In that case, I will say everything is worth, right? In that case, you can try your best. You have to invest, guys. Very simple. If you feel like I will not invest and I will get everything, it's all about what you're investing and what you're getting in back, right? It's a simple math I believe on, guys. If I believe on, if I'm investing 1,000 rupees, and because of that I can get a benefit of 10,000 rupees in return, that's a best ever investment that I can do, right? Example, same thing I call out to people. Many people don't prefer giving a mock interview because they feel, hey, this is paid, or why I have to basically pay. I simply say that if you feel it is worth, where you are investing, say suppose 1,000 rupees, and the end you can increase your salary by 10,000 rupees, which is a bare minimum thing I'm talking about, right? It's a worth, it's a good investment. Similarly, if you feel this is something, a tool or software basically I'm using, I invest or X amount, I will get a 10x out of that. That's a best ever investment, guys, that you can think of. That's a simple math I do for each and everything, in whenever I have to purchase anything, right? Simple math. If you can get in 10x, nothing best can be done like compared to the other. Okay, my question is related to caching. So in situations particularly we should be doing the backend caching, and in what cases we should do the front end or the API RTK basically based caching. Now you have to understand, guys. uh, so there are a couple of things. So personally, what I say, what I recommend, things which, so there are multiple pillars basically you have to understand. So you have, in case people know about the cap consistency, right? So you have consistency, availability basically, and partitioning kind of a thing. So there is one more factor which I talked about, which is how, when I say consistency, you have to understand most of the time you wanted to load the data faster. Now, example, you are using, I will give you example to understand. Example, on when you open the WhatsApp in web.whatsapp.com, when you open, most of the things are cached on your client, on your local. So as soon as you basically open, you get lot of data available for you at the same moment. Now think about, if the same thing were cached on even the backend, which is on the Redis, it would have taken some time in order to pull that information and basically pass down that information. It is, even though it is not coming from DB, it has to go through the network call, network hop in order to get that data, right? If you have to choose for this use case, what you will choose? You will choose your local, you will not choose the Redis cache. Even you are not making the DB calls, you are going to choose your local cache because you understand the latencies and the network hop that's going to happen. That is one. Second case that you have to understand, in cases where when you need to cache and when you need not need to cache. Example, if you have a bank statement and I show you the bank statement which was older, especially your summary of your account, and it says you have only 1 lakh rupees, on the other side you have 1 crore rupees basically in your account, so you will get a panic attack. To be very fair, right? You will love to wait for certain more seconds basically in order to get the see the screen, but you wanted to see the right information. So one is when to use caching and when not to use. Important, when you need accuracy, then don't use cache. When you are okay to show the old data, basically stale data for some time, cache is okay. Now on other side, when you use the client side caching and when you use server side caching, again, client side caching is to reduce the load even to your servers, that request does not go to your server, which is again distributed systems that you are going to use. Server side caching, when you do, you wanted to reduce the load on your databases, right, where the request does not go to the databases and your database does not have to do the heavy lifting. Now if you understand what are the pros basically that you get when you are working, and pros and cons at different strategies, depending on your problem statement, you choose the right thing from knowing the right pros and cons at different level and do the right you can say justice. Okay, so I hope you got the high level. Again, lot of things are situational, I can tell you different scenarios when to use, what not to use, but at different level I try to tell you the pros and cons, and if you get it, then you will be able to make the right decision eventually. Okay, I see question from what's like on the chat. Adit is saying, please take my question. I will find the question from for you, Adit, and I will take that question. Can you share the portal where we can check the ATS score for free? Again, most of the cases, Rina, the free tools are always going to ask you, hey, you pay, then I will give you the more relevant and accurate score. What I meant by, you can use the ATS scores, but try to write things which are, I will recommend, don't do the fancy things. Create a PDF which can be basically, you can copy paste from the PDF, right? Things which you can convert back to the like Word file kind of a thing, right? Or a text file that can be converted. See, when you convert your PDF content to a text file, what is the order of the content basically it is coming, right? Try to do those basic things. Your eventually ATS score will boom. And the parameters which I talked about, in case you miss, watch this recording back, you will see the parameters which I talked about are the very crucial parameters for the ATS score. Because most of the portal charge for this, not and that is not worth. Why I stopped check the JavaScript series? Sanjeev, to be very fair, I wanted to do this and I wanted to build more content. It's just that it takes lot of effort, and right now I don't have that much time basically because of my commitment at my office and the work and the scale that I'm working in the corporate basically, to get that time to keep on investing on this. So like trust me, stepping up as a engineering manager, principal engineering manager, it has been a tough journey. When I say tough journey, there are a lot of commitment that I have that I have to take care of, and because of that my like the time that I used to get for my own stuff has definitely reduced. But I have some plans in upcoming months, so I will be back with some things. But again, whenever I get time, I keep on investing something on the codekarma.dev. And to be very fair, lot of stuff basically I've covered in Namaste Front End System Design. That is going to be a, trust me, a Bible for at least a decade from now. So whenever you go and learn something from a Namaste Front End System Design, you will see something new to learn, and you will learn something great out of that. So every time you watch the recording, I can bet there is one thing that you are definitely going to learn from there. And I will be making a comeback in couple of months, guys. So I'm 2024 pass out, not able to get a job till now. I have done my 450 or 500 question in the DSA JavaScript, and I gave my interview, which was okay. Couple of things that you have to understand. Just saying that I have solved these quantity of problems basically does not help. In short, you have to understand, in interview it is all about the time bond, your approach, your thought process, and how fast basically you can do certain things, right? Combination of multiple things, irrespective of I solved 1,000 questions basically in a year or 5 year, how does it matter? Now, I don't want it to demotivate. At the same time, I wanted to help you to understand, which is, keep hustling. Most of the people are not able to grow in their career because they don't have hunger. They are settled. Example, I give you something to eat and you get a like bhat, right? Rice bhat and whatnot, and you're okay. This is the best basically I want. You're settled. On the other side, you always have a hunger. No, no, no. I wanted to eat at maybe a restaurant, or I wanted to go at least in five-star hotel and base a restaurant and basically eat. So that kind of a hunger is something you should not basically get out of from you. So if you lose that hunger, then it's most of the people struggle. They don't have that hunger. Be Keep that hunger live, guys. Even you get a job, have a hunger for a better things, solving great problems, working with great people, solving complex problem, getting more salary, getting more worth basically, getting more respect. So whatever it is, it can be a different hunger for different people. What I meant by keep that hunger alive. Most of the people, अरे जॉब तो चल ही रही है, ठीक ही तो है, क्या हो जाएगा, थोड़ा सा सैलरी चेंज हो जाएगा, क्या हो जाएगा, बट काम बढ़ जाए. What I meant by, most of the people don't make effort, right? Please don't settle. And talking about problems, I understand there's night shift basically that happened, but they rejected me just because they thought I can't work in the night shift. Even I passed the technical. Okay, help me out. When you wanted to drive or ride the cycle for the first time, forget about someone else. Your parents did not trusted you, right? They thought, hey, you will fall, you will get hurt, I'm not sure if you will. Example, when you started driving the two wheeler for the first time, even your loved ones did not want to sit on the back of your or you can say it's your scooty or a bike, because they doubted if you will be able to drive and take to safely to the place or the destination, right? Now think about a person who don't know you at all. What in such cases, what do you do? In such cases, somewhere with your past experience, you have to give that confidence to the other person, or sometimes with your voice and commitment, you have to basically ensure that the person get in a confidence, right? You have to help out with the right reasons and justification why a other person will trust you, right? So you have to bring that trust, and especially you have to bring to a trust to a person who don't know you, right? It's tough. You have to give some examples, cite certain things. You have to tell your working hours, the way you have been doing certain things, and try to convince the person. So that's how it will work. You have to understand like why a person who don't know will trust you. Some Okay, Rina is saying I have created my resume on the Google Doc to keep it minimal. Yes, I to be very fair, guys, I have my own resume which is built on Google Doc. I don't have any fancy resume, although I've tried to structure it well, but I don't use any tool or blah blah blah. I have very straightforward my resume on the Google Docs basic, which I've created, and I use that wherever I want. That's all. Vikas is saying I'm a software engineer with approx 2 years of experience. How to keep motivated to the work? I don't feel to work hard. Want to get into a big companies. So Vikas, so one thing that we have to understand, very simple, which is, I understand we don't want it to work hard. So there are two things: either you work smart or you work hard. And people who work smart, they are still into the race. People who work hard are still into the race. People who don't want to do any one of them, they are out of the race, no doubt. Very soon you will see people struggling and suffering a lot. And people who are good at both, people who are smart and hard, are actually on the top notch of the industry wherever you basically go, right? So now you have to decide, either you want to do in the top notch, you wanted to do in the mid tier, or you wanted to be at the bottom one. If you wanted to be at the mid and you are okay, you can do any one of thing, either be smart or hard. You wanted to be a top, you have to be hard worker and smart worker. Else at the bottom, you know what is going to happen. Now, what I meant by, one thing at least start doing, which is, people who don't want it to work hard, at least have the right commitment for yourself, which is, you decide you wanted to work, for example, 9 hours, but are you seriously dedicating those 9 hours basically to your work, not seeing the clock but seeing your targets? What are the things that you have to complete? What are the commitment that you had, that you have to basically work upon? Adhere to those commitment. If you are thinking, you are just watching the clock and seeing that, hey, why the time is not passing, and you're just somewhere trying to kill that time and say that, hey, I worked for those many hours and after that I'm not going to work, and you are not also delivering and adhere to the commitments on top of it, it's tough. It will be eventually tough to survive in the competitive market, because there are people who are ready to even invest more, people who are ready to basically put more hard work, and people who are more smarter also. And at the same time, you are in a way like, hey, I will work only these hours and I will not go above and beyond. And even in those hours, I will have my lunch time, my tea time, and even I will take a power nap. I will do everything. You have to understand, right? Or you are so smart that whatever commitment that you have, you are able to even complete in couple of hours. Go chill. Who cares, right? If you are able to meet your commitments in a very short duration, you are smart enough, you are there. People will value you. You are needed in the in this era. So again, sorry for calling it out, but I see a lot of Gen Z's right now, I don't generally call it out, are in a way, people are like, hey, why are you asking me to even make efforts, right? I am doing this, this is more than enough. Like, dude, you have to understand, are you doing favor to someone else, basically just giving couple of hours basically of your life, or you are bringing some value in someone else, you can say, business? If you're bringing that value, yes, you are welcome. If you're not bringing your value and just you are in your own era and attitude, dude, I'm doing a favor on you, basically just giving my time. So it's tough, you have to understand. Okay, let me take another question. Okay, I'm a software engineer. Okay, I talked about that. Hi, Chira, can you please suggest the resume format or possible share any? Okay, do ping me on the group, on the WhatsApp basically, or the Discord, and I can help you on that. So in any of the group, basically, you are just nudge me. I will be happy to share those things. Let me take a couple of questions quickly over here. Let me go from a bottom, so I will do the justice to the people also. Let me take this. Sir, I have 5 years of the gap. I'm working in the BPO and looking to get the back in the field as the, okay. Is possible to get in which such big gap? Please reply in roadmap. Okay, gap hardly matters, guys. Gap can be of n number of things. Example, I generally say a very simple thing. You may be in your 25 20s or 30s max, you still have half of your life basically. You wasted couple of years of your career, it doesn't mean your entire life will go for a toss. No, it's more around, you did not realize earlier, you wasted your time. It's okay, now you have a time and opportunity in order to come back, make a comeback. But you have to understand, people who are already working in that area, who are smart, they are already putting effort, you have to put more effort. Maybe you have to put 1.5 or 2x of effort the other person is basically making, and you have to make a smarter effort also. So what I meant by, you can't think, hey, I will just give an hour and my career will automatically shift to a different thing. So guys, let's set the right expectation. So you have to put lot of effort, because there are people who are already doing in that particular field from many years, they had been doing those things. Now you are getting into this, you can't stop everything, where I will leave my job, I will just invest for a 1 year on the learning and everything. No, guys, be so simple. There are things which need, there are commitments which need hard work from you guys, and for that the only option is you have to put efforts. If you don't put efforts in the right amount, in the right direction, it will be tough. So I am a person who will not give you the fairy tale stories most of the time, because I want people to live in reality. I can give you, hey, you do this course, you do this, you enroll into this, and you will become a, your life is changed and career will change, and you will get a 2x 3x 5x 10x package. Basically you will get 1 CR package. Guys, I personally want people to live in reality, right? Which is good, because after that you will not come and say, Chirag, you told some story and this is that bad. I don't believe on that. So if you want roadmap, yes, I can help you on that, which is, as I always say, I'm trying to do something justice, where you keep learning things from here. Where you go over here, you will see, you wanted to learn JavaScript, see the topics which are important, problems which are important. You wanted to learn the right DSA problem statement which are asked in interviews, you learn from there. You will get exactly what are basically expected in interviews. Similarly, you wanted to learn what is expected at different levels in the companies. You go and watch this, right? I made it free earlier. It was paid. I just made it free for everyone, basically to learn the right, set the right expectation for your own self when you are stepping into the, say suppose, web development as a career. Please watch, right? You wanted to get into that on system design, go for Namaste front end system design. You wanted to take a taste how it basically look like, go and check the front end system design. You don't have to even pay, right? There are a lot of people who have cracked just watching the YT channel also. There are people who have hunger. I wanted to go more deeper into that. I just don't want it to limit to just cracking the interviews. You just go into the deeper, right? In short, guys, I'm trying to give my best on that, but at the same time, guys, there is, you have to respect the worth of the time and effort and knowledge, the experience the person actually brings, right? And hence people try to basically put their efforts in one medium or the other medium, right? And it's okay if you feel it is worth of your time and your career growth, just take it, else you find some other options. It is very simple as, right? Okay, let me take another question. I have 5 year of experience. Okay, I talked about this. I talked about this. I think a person is trying really hard. The way you tried really hard to write the messages, make the right efforts for your career as well. You will see the things will start changing. So had that right zeal, have the right people in your surrounding who can keep pushing you always. Whenever you are in your low time, someone is basically pushing you, saying that, hey, you can still do it. Yeah, keep doing it. You will make things happen one day. So what I meant by have the right people, you mean we can give money to them to get, no, I'm not saying you give money, right? Again, guys, hence try to understand the intent I'm trying to convey. It's not about never ever money. I'm not even a supporter of money at all, right? Why? Right? It's more around, if you feel like it's about the two persons connections. Example, if you have a bond already, if you example, let me help you, because most of the people take things in a very negative way, but sometimes people have to be mature and understand certain things. Let's try to understand. Example, even you are at your home, right, and your parents want get something from you, which is, hey, can you bring from the market, or can you do this from do this for me, can you basically go simply what like clean my clothes, or assemble something in the house, or get some help. Sometimes even your parents have to give something in order to bribe you. I will say that obviously that's kind of a bribe that we, small bribe that we used to do at our home also, right? Which is, oh, I will make a tea for you, I will get a sweet for you, I will give a chocolate to you, I will give you something to you. What I meant by, it's a very simple way to basically attract people who are ready to put some effort and do something for you. It is as simple as, It could be, hey, if you do this, I will just write a thank you note basically for you. And that's what we do in the corporate also, right? Where you reach out to someone for your help and work, and which was not the responsibility of other person. What do? When person help you out, you just write a thank you note and thanks in public, right? Sometimes these simple things works. What I meant by, you have to understand that you are taking someone else's time, whatever worth that you feel for that time you are taking from someone else is all in. If you have a good friend connection, you don't have to do damn anything. You just say, bhai, kar raha hai nahi kar raha hai, right? You can always say that in such tone, right? But again, the bond that you share with the other person, that matters. What kind of a work that you have to do, maybe today or the future, or you might have done in past some favor, but the reality is you have to build that good bond one way or the other way. Now you figure it out, what is the best way basically you can think of. Okay. Uh, do you have okay? Do we have to know the HLD and LLD for the internship at the product-based company? I have recently completed the graduation. Not a necessary, but you will get an extra edge. If you know this, you will have an extra edge, not just limited to get into the company, but also when you develop features, develop product, and you are looking for a PPO basically in the organization. If you have these understanding, you will always get extra edge. But again, don't take as in like without this I will not be able to do that. No, but if you wanted to be in the top notch uh, among your competitors, this is definitely going to give you extra edge. Should we focus more on the DSA or the machine coding or the building the solid project, since the mang companies focus majorly on the DSA? It looks like, for because many companies have their one round or two rounds basically on DSA. But trust me guys, without you may be able to get the interview call, or you may be able to crack first or second round, but from there onwards, when you get into the system design, when you get into your previous project experiences and whatnot, you will not be able to get. As a early stage in your career, probably you can get started by just DSA, which used to happen, but now it is even tough, right? Because people are doing building crazy projects in their colleges. You have AI basically who can help you do that, right? If you say that I just have a DSA knowledge, I can write some code for given I input, what is going to be the output, I will say, boss, I have a AI to do that. Why I will hire you? You have to understand, right? Why I will hire you? So that is what basically you have to understand. So this is not, so eventually you will see there will be a great shift on how the people are asking question on a DSA eventually, that you will start seeing in the industry. That's what I can sense and smell. Is it preferred a resume or which is a preferred more, a resume or a portfolio? My portfolio, guys, portfolio, yes, it helps to get an eye, but to get started, your resume is something which is always must. Every company, most of the company is going to ask you, hey, do you have a resume? Because that's a part of the process of the screening and whatnot, where your portfolio is not going to work. Reality check. You have your resume is must, guys, must, right? And yes, this is going to help you when you are in an interview discussion. When you are discussing, you can showcase your profile, a portfolio basically, and you can talk about some of the project that you worked upon. Yes, but not at a cost of resume. It is mandatory, you have to understand. Okay, how should I show this old time resume, which will they see me a 15-year experience or 8-year experience, and they will interview difficult me for my 15-year? Okay, sometimes guys, you have to set the right expectation also. I've seen people who have more experience, but they are ready to basically choose the different, you can say maybe I will say the different designation, because they are more keen into a different technology or different stream, and where their past experience was not on the relevant thing. You have to highlight certain things on your resume very clearly, that I have this much experience, I have worked on those things, I have the relevant experience of this year, and I'm okay for this particular role. So please customize whenever you are applying to certain companies, mentioning that. Don't see my 15-year experience, see my relevant experience, and I'm okay to join as an SD or senior software engineer or a lead. Please mention those to set the right expectation, else your resume will be short, you can say ignored in the initial screening itself, saying that, hey, 15-year experience, guys, still a senior software engineer. Maybe people may have a questions, right? But if you set the right expectation and the tone, it helps. People don't have to call you up in order to understand why did you apply with 15 years of experience in this particular role, because you have clearly mentioned this is what I want and I'm aligned. Convey that as transparently in an offline fashion, maybe putting in the resume, why not, so that it's very clear and obvious for people. I have 15 years experience last in okay, I 7 years I worked on this. Again, as I told you, you choose if that is acceptable for you. Please clearly mention basically that is this is your expectation. I'm okay with this, and convey and go ahead. Why not? It is if you are okay, and then company is also okay. If you are aligned with that particular bandwidth and role, win-win situation. A company is getting a more mature person basically at a certain level. Why not? So, but it shouldn't be like company is dicey. This person is joining because he's not having the opportunity, and he might leave as soon as a person get a different opportunity. If a company is dicey on that, think about right. Okay. uh, okay, I see my closest friend studies the BCom, worked on as an account for 1 year, got interested and started learning about the tech, and now he's skilled front end. Yeah, I have a lot of those examples. I know I generally give this example of one of my friend is a dentist basically in a different country, and she got fascinated about doing the coding and whatnot. She's software engineer right now. After 5 years of her profession basically in a as a dentist, she left and joined as a software engineer. So yeah, why not? Yes, you have to explore, you have to find what excites you and what will keep you motivated. So generally people ask one question: what keeps you awake, right? If you have the answer for this, and whatever that it is, work on that particular stream and that area, you will see always you will keep shining. Chira, can you only if I get in, can only the referral get us at the interview? Not necessary, but it can make your life easy. There's a difference. Can this is mandatory? No. But if you have the referral, it will make your process bit easy and your preferences bit more comparatively. That's the only edge. I know you said you will watch the video I shared offline, but can you just do a quick check of this video? I built this app while I faced issues taking the notes. Okay, so Vishnu, just give me a DM on the WhatsApp or Discord. I will for sure basically look into, and I will pass down the feedback to you for sure. Okay. Reena, can you please do the comparison between the context and the redux in the terms of the rendering and overlying working? Which one is the better? I will say most of the time you don't need redux. You need the context. If you have bigger application. So because you have to understand very simple thing. Why you wanted to keep everything at a root at a global level? It doesn't make sense. Not at all. It does not make any sense at all. So okay, people who are asking for Discord, I can share the Discord channel. Okay, meanwhile I'm sharing the Discord. What I meant by, you have to understand, most of the time you have to keep the information at different level. Example, let's understand what is this state. If you are running a government organization, do you wanted to keep all the information of all the government, you can say you can stream or department at one single storeroom? Probably not. What you will do, you will keep the right information at different departments, and you will have some connections and way to reach out to those departments whenever needed, right? So that only the relevant people have access to the right information. Not everyone have access to the everything, which is also very important. You should not provide the access of your data to everyone until that is needed. Why you bombard with the extra information and knowledge, right? And it comes with challenges always. Redux, yes, it has been easy for people to do the development, but it comes with a cost. That cost is over burden that people get, over information that you have. You don't need it most of the time. Keep it light, and obviously you will see differences in performance when you are working on large scale systems. Redux again goes for a toss, but again, it's very difficult to identify and get the performance differences in a very complex application, because only you are not comparing to state management. There are n number of other activities, re-rendering, and number of things that keep on happening. Because of that, it becomes tricky for you to measure that. So measuring is difficult in most of the cases in complex application. But trust me, context is something is always beneficial for you, because there is no need to keep everything in one umbrella. Like, you should not. Link for WhatsApp, for Discord, I'm sharing it right away, guys. Okay, I'm putting in the chat. You can basically join the Discord here. I just sent. In the Discord, you can ask for the WhatsApp group and whatnot. I'm happy to basically join. Okay, I will talk about the last memory tab, but before that, I let me quickly take the question basically. Okay, thank you, sir. I'm a fresher looking for a front-end developer job, but not getting what to do looking since 2024. I have talked about, Mohit, a lot of those things from the starting. Please watch this video again, and you will get a lot of your answers basically taken care of. Okay, what type of project do you work on? What skills are required? How do you manage the situation when the stakeholder imposes the unfamiliar technology? Jahid, n number of things. Basically, this is the day and out. Basically, I keep on doing. But again, I will be happy to take more questions. Basically, at a high level, I will tell you. Prioritize things, see the importance and impact things are basically bringing, right? And always go with a data driven approach to your stakeholder. That will help you to convince. If you are just having an argument, it's not going to help. Always go with data to justify, to back your you can say statement. That is what how it works, right? Example, when you go into any of the Supreme Court, High Court, and General Court, what people say, I understand you, right? But I need some proof, right? Even you are right, you don't have proof. The proof is basically, in this case, in our case, is a data backed approach. So you go with the data, you will always get a support. And when I say data, it could be in your company, your project, it could be how other people are doing. Go with the data pack, you will get a benefit. Now, how do you efficiently use the dev tool memory tab to identify the memory leak and the performance issues? Again, I can take this in very depth, but at a high level, I'm not sure I covered this anywhere, but I can take this up. There are a couple of things basically in memory. Try to understand how these different things basically works. The other thing is, you can always see how much memory when you are performing some activities. After some time, you may see a fluctuation basically happening over here. The other thing, when you take a snapshot, you can see what is actually causing this memory you can say increase. There are n number of reasons basically why your memory goes for a toss. And in case you have not seen one of the video which I created, I think long back, please go watch. I can help you with one thing. You don't know JavaScript, this video, guys, please watch this video. You will get a lot of fundamental understanding of why certain things happen and why your memory keep on shooting basically. So watch this. In case you haven't, you will get a lot of beneficial things. But again, if you have more explicit questions around that, you can share the problem statement and I can take that up. Again, it's a humble request basically I have, guys. When we are talking about this YouTube, I wanted to say, just sharing it loud, because many people basically asked. Always go and check these two things, guys. Go and watch these two playlists. I can bet you will see a drastic change in your career, especially people who are struggling with the interviews, not getting the job opportunity. One playlist which is around the how the interviews generally you should give and how do you crack. Second is basically this, and third basically I always say, if you wanted to have, you have hunger around the system design, you wanted to know the core of web development in more depth, go learn uh, namaste front end system design if you have already not enrolled. And this is something which I always recommend. Please go check the things which are available on Code Karma. So these are certain things I just wanted to share with everyone. Cool. So yep, thank you guys for being here for a long time. I did not realize we are 1.5 hour basically live. Oh, that's cool. Good to know. So let me know, guys, if it helped you in one way or the other way. By the way, thanks a lot for coming on Saturday and giving this much time. I hope I could help you in one way or the other way. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming live, asking great questions, and being with me, and for all your love and support through different medium and channels. Thank you. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you.